Games, board games. I might be talking about all sorts of games, but I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing. Today I went to a design camp, which I guess was designed to ramp up our design abilities when it comes to making a game about democracy. And I will tell you about what went on once I have finished singing this song. Board games are now Playlist Design Camp, it's what I'm talking about. Now Place Design Camp, I'm not gonna shout. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. It is 10 a.m. UK time. Time for Busy Beats and Board Game Bladder, episode 590. Wow, I need to really get my finger out and start planning that episode 600. And today I am going to recap what happened yesterday. So, yeah, why not start off as we mean to carry on? Recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. So, yeah, the question is, what was I doing yesterday? What were we up to? So, if I share this screen, so I went to Now Play This, Somerset House, Design Camp. You had to apply, you had to say who you are, your background. I don't know how the selection process works. I don't know how many people applied versus how many people were accepted. I know that the acceptance came quite late. So, I mean, for me, it wasn't too bad because I'm based in London. But I wonder how that interacted with. There were a few people who were actually flying in from Italy, from Bulgaria. It was delightful to see all the massive number of people from so many backgrounds. And we started off, this is Maria in shadow, showing off the timetable, which you can see here. And, you know, there's lots of things that are happening. So we had the welcome ritual, and then the welcome ritual involved us all standing in front of a TV screen, watching two words, thinking, okay, sunshine versus moonshine, which one do you prefer? And stand on one side of the room to make your vote. After a few rounds of this, then they said, okay, let's brainstorm some other ways to vote. Maybe we can have some people going fast, other people going slow. Maybe we can have the mouth, like expressions. Some people talked about like mouth shapes, which because of masks, it became some people saying ooh, some people saying e. Then there was one where we were like chanting, one where we were clapping and determining it by the volume, one where we were going high versus low. I really like the singing ones. I kind of feel like, you know, there's definitely a game in there for like the running ground definitely has health and safety issues. And let me actually see if I can find my Twitter. Hello, PNP community. It is lovely to see you. I am just talking about a design camp that I went to yesterday. I now play this, and yeah, talking a wee bit more about what happened. It is going to be a fairly quick show, and then, yeah, we will, but hopefully it will be interesting to you to hear about what's going on this particular thing. So here you can see this was when it was meant to be done without talking, so just through physical communication, trying to get everyone on one side. And this was one of this ones that was like problematic for a few reasons. Like those two people, you can see someone being pulled, they do know each other, so it's okay. There is kind of consent, and that's an important thing in games. Like, you always want to make sure that you are consenting to whatever you're doing. Anyway, so as I said, the musical one, I think that would be really cool. We had a link with Abuja from KC. Like, KC gave me a shout out, which was lovely, and then we talked about what they do. We talked about the differences. We had a lunch over here in London, which was some sandwiches plus wee bits of salad from and then we had a lovely chat. So all these people sitting at tables, chatting, getting to know each other's backgrounds, what we're doing, what matters to us, the passions. And I think that was a big bulk of the first day, just getting to know each other, because we're potentially going to be spending the bulk of a week together making games. Now, we had this talk by Josh Lerner that was talking about how actually elected officials making rules. Hello, Josie. It is lovely to see you. Josh was talking about how elected officials deciding rules is not a true democracy. Talking about how if we want true democracy, then we should have actual votes, more referendums. We could have random people elected rather than it being um, people who are elected, which kind of gets into a classist system, because quite often the people who are going to be up for the vote are people who've got access to particular things and they've got the potential for media control, essentially. Whereas if it was random selection, and then we said, okay, here's some random selection, so we decide things based on a random demographic, or like we kind of try to make sure that we've got random representatives, so this isn't just representing people from a particular income or from a particular lineage or whatever. And Josh was talking about the things that we might want to have in a game, the conflict, the rules and the outcomes and engagements. The engagement was really interesting, talking about make sure that if you're voting, it's something kind of interesting. Like make sure you're putting stickers on or drawing something, not just dropping something into a box. Make sure that the actual activity, it has an inherent sensory engagement. You could think about sound effects or something. But the one thing that Josh really mentioned, which was really interesting to me, was that if you want to make a game that changes the world, which not every game has to change the world in a big way, but if you want to change policy, the most important thing is that you get it in front of one of three people. And those three people, you could either say the policymakers get it in front of them, or secondly, you want to get it in front of advocates, or are then going to have the energy to advocate for it, like activists potentially, or third, you might want to get it in front of the people who are going to do the planning around that proposal. So that was Josh, and we listened to that for almost an hour. That was a really interesting chat. I wish there had been a tiny bit more time for questions, although I thought there was more than enough, but just the way that they were asked was slightly confusing. And so there were myself and a couple of other people weren't able to ask them. Then finally, we had Katy, who did a long workshop throughout the end of the day to talk about how improv theatre can bring policymakers and people affected together. We were doing this as a sort of simulation of what they do as theatre of the oppressed, which the story that was told was a bunch of people. And hello, Yoda, it is lovely to see you. Hello, Rob, it is lovely to see you. And Timmy, of course, it is a delight to see you all. Thank you very much. I'm just talking about what happened yesterday at Now Play This. And then I'll be going off within the next 20 minutes to try and get there by 11 o'clock, despite there being multiple runs going on in London. Anyway, so yes, Katy, let me make this screen a little bit bigger. Katy is towards the left with ginger hair, a burgundy top, jeans, and heeled boots. And Katy had some amazing exuberance, getting people involved, like doing the whole, like kind of getting people to clap along, kind of hamming it up. Like, I feel like Katy would be really good on a talk show. And I think this is what you need to be able to engage people, saying to people, okay, what do we want? And then listening to what people said, writing it on a board, even though it didn't really matter what was being written. I wasn't able to even read the handwriting, but then she would say, okay, what are some schemas in the world? What are some mindsets that are oppressing us? And some people would say sexism, Islamophobia, misanthropy, and then like all these things. And then it would be the institutions in a little bigger smaller circle, and then inside that would be the people who are acting on behalf of these institutions, and then within that would be the feelings that the way we act. Katy saying, hey, maybe when people say, oh, you're like this, you're like that, you need to change the way you are. Maybe you need to change the way you are, but maybe it's because of the world being messed up, and maybe we can change the world. And that was basically what Katy was talking about, getting actors to role play a situation where policymakers are changing things, and then everyone in the audience would be suggesting ideas. People would be looking at these ideas and they would be improvising, role playing them out to see what problems there might be with this. And then at the end, the idea in a real setting, there would be actual policymakers, MPs in the audience. And then there would be a meeting afterwards, like 3 weeks later, with the people who had been part of the acting and the policymakers, which is a really interesting way. And so we could get into talks of what is a game, but I don't think that's at all useful. The point is that it's a really useful tool. It's a really useful set of rules, which personally I felt like I would have liked the rules to be explained up front, because I didn't feel like I had enough packs. But then we can see, let's fast forward. So here we've got some actors on the left, and they've just taken a break. Katy's explaining what's going on. And then here there's another bit where the actors are going through all these suggestions that have been given in by the audience and are reading them out before they then went to propose them all. And this is a really interesting thing. And so that's how day one went. It was a delight. It was exciting. And there was a little lunch. I don't know, did I show the little lunch? Is there? I think I did. I think I showed all the pictures. But yes, Rob, game jam yesterday, game jam today. And also, we are all privileged. I just want to acknowledge that. A lot of the people are very wealthy. There were like 3 people who had come in from other countries, Bulgaria and Italy. I had a chat with people who were traveling from elsewhere. Quite a few people were from London. A few people were from outside London and had gotten a hotel recently. And so there is a level of financial privilege that you need to be able to attend this. And it is essentially a week-long event. The idea is that the first day, let me actually show you the plan. So this is the schedule. So yeah, we had all sorts of things going on. The idea being that the first day is for us to listen. The second day seems to be more for us to meet each other and build our teams. I'm looking forward. I assume that's when we're going to be sharing our ideas and starting off our prototypes. I don't know. Then we've got a couple of lectures at the end. The blue bits are where we're kind of tying up with Nibcard Games in Abuja. And we're going to, be liaising with them. We're going to be chatting with them potentially. And I might do a couple of shows from just outside the space. As you can see, it is open at 10 a.m., which does kind of tie in with the time that I normally stream. But also tomorrow, I am also going to have to work on my other game for Now Played This, Seize the Power, which I'm going to have to completely redesign it to make it as simple as possible. And I'm just kind of vaguely pondering it in my mind. But tomorrow I'm going to do all the specific pondering and then have a first playtest. But yes, this is a long game jam. And then the idea being that at the end, when the festival actually happens, then we've got some events with the guided public playtests. We've got just everyone able to come in and see what's going on. And it is going to be a delight. They have lowered the financial accessibility look, you need to get to the place, and it is a week-long event. You need to be able to take the week off work. You need to be able to, be there. And so, again, I am immensely privileged. If I was working for yeah, working for a supermarket, would I have been able to take a week off work? Maybe if I gave them enough notice. But my feedback to the Now Play This organisers would be try to let us know that we're definitely going to go there further ahead. Because again, I am immensely privileged. This is what I spend my time doing. But 8 years ago, 2014, how long ago was that? Yeah, 8 years ago when I was working for a supermarket, I would have loved to take a week off, but I wouldn't have been able to afford to do that unless I knew I was definitely going to be there for sure. But yeah, that's how it's been. And so at this point, that is what I've been up to. And also the main topic. If there's anything you've been up to recently that you'd like to share, go ahead. J Folsgard, lovely to see you. Says now play this someday. I would like to go there. It would be lovely to see you. And if I'm, yeah, potentially next year, I don't know what's happening, but if you need a bit of help with the accommodation, I might be able to help you out. PNP community, yes, I am super excited. I'm super excited to do all the things and meet all the people and foster these connections and learn from everyone. That's what I'm super excited about. Let's talk about brilliant thing. Brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? Game jams. Why are game jams brilliant? Game jams are brilliant because they inspire you, because they can motivate you to do more things. It's kind of like a source of inspiration. Game jams can also mean that there's a game that neither person would be making under any other circumstance. So it's like two minds coming together and then part like together we're even stronger, which is better. We can do even more things. Ultimately, like game jams are a source of motivation, they're a source of energizing, they're essentially like inspiration. They've got all exactly the same benefits. Yes, meeting new people. Exactly, like some of the people, I'm like, oh wow, you're in London, I'm in London. And you like games, I like games. Hey, maybe we should meet together. Hello, Black Sheep. It is just lovely to see you. Jess, it is lovely to see you too. And yes, it is me. And yeah, game jams. That's how Voyages came about. That's how a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises came about. Yeah. So yeah, brilliant things, bringing people together, and yeah, enjoying life, enjoying the sunshine, being. And I think there's something lovely about the physical, even if you aren't touching anyone, just being in the same space, being able to move from one conversation to another and say, you know, I've already heard all about Mateo's game and I'd love to chat to you later, but just because you're introducing it to everyone else, I'm going to head off and chat to someone else. But it's lovely to meet you all. Being able to disengage and re-enter different conversations like that. It was such a wonderful day. I think, in case anyone cares, there were like 24 people, which feels like a really good number, because I'm sure that by the end of today, I will at least have a vague sense of everyone. Even if I can't remember their names, even if I can't remember anything about them, I'll have some sort of, okay, that was that person who was slightly shy and is a student. Oh yeah, that's that person who's a graphic designer. That's that person who works in the government and is coming here and just games are a new thing for them. That's that person who does theatre. That's that person who is more about the theory than the practical, because these two people are lecturers at university. And so that, yeah, lovely to meet people. Again, well, my things are all out of whack. If you want to comment or ask questions, then you still can. Fun like follow. And let's go to the question of the day. Question of the day. Here's a little question before you go on your way. My question of the day is: firstly, are you going to now play this? But that's a quick, easy question. I assume no one is. But also, when is the last time you had a game jam? When is the last time you had? And if you have you ever organized a game jam? That's what I would like to ask you. Yeah, have you ever organized a meeting of minds? It doesn't need to be a game jam, just a meeting of minds, people to collaborate, to do things together. And yeah, Black Sheep says, "Oh, how did the LARP stuff go?" So I did a little bit more than what you saw me doing. I sent it off to Laura Wood, one of the organisers, and I said, "Look, I've not finished it. This is there's still a little bit more." Basically, I finished the three adventures, um, the four main characters. The minor monsters are not quite finished. The story is not quite finished. But I showed it to Laura, and Laura said, "Look, that's fine. You're doing well. It doesn't need to be ready until June anyway. The main point is we just wanted to make sure you're actually doing something. And in the case of an emergency where you can't come, then someone else can run it in your place." And that makes sense. That basically what they want to know is that if like realistically, maybe I get COVID the day before. That would be incredibly sad. But I need to have the script ready so that a volunteer can take my place. J Fool's Guard, enjoy your breakfast. So yes, the question of the day: when was the last time you organised a meeting of minds that you can remember? Um, oof. The one that springs to my mind is when I did do a game jam, when I was doing it like speed dating. I'm really proud of this idea. Feel free to use this idea. So, with my idea, basically everyone comes there with one prompt. So, someone's prompt might be strawberries, someone's prompt might be voting, someone's prompt might be gardening, someone's prompt might be I want to use dice, as many dice as possible. Someone might be I want to make a game that's on a parchment, on a roll, on a fabric thing. And then I think there were about eight of us, and we did essentially speed dating where everyone talked to literally everyone else. We had about 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I can't remember what I set it at, for everyone to do an initial brainstorm and maybe get the start of a prototype together. So you had time to write something down on paper, but not enough time to actually get the rules fixed, necessarily ready for a first playtest. After that, we started off introducing ourselves. Then we did the quick speed dating thing. Then that took the big chunk of the day. Then after that, we had a little vote of who we would most like to work with. And then I tallied up the votes so that everyone was working with someone who was high up in their preferences. I didn't, and then, yeah, we spent the rest of the day working with one other individual. In retrospect, maybe that final part should have been, I don't know, like maybe split into two, so you got to, I don't know. But the point was to foster connections, and I think it went well. Rob says, I've never organised a game jam or been to a face-to-face one, though I've been to some online. The closest thing I've done was meeting Alan Paul and Dave Mortimer once to brainstorm the game that became Snails and Grails. That was January 2020. Josie says, I often organise events for people to work collaboratively. One of the projects I'm working on at the moment is to get students and business professionals together to work collaboratively to solve a problem around climate change. That sounds awesome. Amazing. So students and business professionals, is that businesses who have an impact, like businesses who maybe could do better? Or is it businesses who could maybe already, I guess it has to be people who are already interested in activism and doing stuff. And the idea is that they develop and grow random ideas with the view that we then hopefully onboard businesses to explore their solutions after the event. That sounds fantastic. Massive commendations for what you're doing. And now, feel free to keep answering the question, or indeed answer the regular question where I ask, over to you, what are you up to? You can share, but only if you want to. Is there anything you want to share? I promise that I care. Whether it's something you're looking forward to, something you have to do, a hope, an ambition, something that you need to get over your inhibitions, whether you need to get out of your mind and you just want to be reminded that you need to start, and if you want to follow the dream of your heart. But what are you up to? I have already basically dressed. I've got my top on. I've got I've got these shorts on that I've not worn for ages. They are a bit tight, I'm going to admit. There is a bit of a belly I'm willing to show you. So yes, you can see it's a bit tight around the belly. There we go. But yes, I've put on clothes. I just need to put on my shoes and then go outside. And then I'm going to cycle over to the Somerset House, I think it's called. And also afterwards, apparently there's an exhibition in Trafalgar Square, which they're taking down at 9 p.m. So I think I've got about an hour and a half to go and see it before they actually take it down. So that's what I'm up to. I am hoping to get to know people even better. There was like so many people, Emmylou and Pia, and like names that will mean nothing to you, but I'm just kind of trying to go over them in my own mind. So I'm like, yeah, even though we've all got these name badges, similar to Aircon, we've got banners and there's space for everyone to put their name, but I'm just super excited about that. What are you up to? And Josie says, it's beautiful and sunny today, so I will get out in the sun. Yes, enjoy the sun. Have a wonderful time. It is kind of sunny here as well. It's a little bit of a shame. I'm going to be indoors most of the day, but I am going to be cycling and traveling, there, which is good. At least it gets me out of the house, and there are really big windows. You get to see the river. It's an amazing building. It's literally overlooks the river. Amazing. Anyway, but enjoy your walk. Enjoy your time outside. Enjoy that. And recap and wrap up before we finish up. So, what have we talked about today? Firstly, I talked about all the things that had happened yesterday, and that's basically what I talked about. Let me bring up my Instagram. I talked about us deciding methods of voting. I just talked about the initiation ceremony, how about running versus slowing down, facial expressions, music. The music was a really interesting one. Connecting with Abuja, KC, and Nibcard Games. A nice lunch and time to talk with people. There was a good amount of time to talk with people. That was good. Also, toilets. I do like, even though there were gendered toilets, which is, there should have been like non-gender toilet somewhere, but they did have the little transgender sign, like with the free things on it. So it's kind of like a sign of, hey, anyone can come here, which is really cool. We had a lovely talk from Josh, which was really thoughtful. This actually, when it started to talk, I did have to remove myself for a wee bit because I felt like I couldn't contribute to this one, to be honest. And so when just like the talk about transphobia, it made me kind of want to step outside for a wee minute, but there was a tiny little room where I was able to listen in whilst kind of just eating some sugar. It was a long day. Obviously, we were tired, and so I had some sugar before coming back and re-engaging with everyone. So it felt really good, and it was a lovely day, and I'm excited to do it again. PNP Community says, I'm house cleaning today and working on my rules for a game I'm designing. Looking forward to UK Games Expo. Yes, 2 months away, less than 2 months away. I think it's about 8 weeks now. I need to get my thingy sorted, my questionnaire thing sorted. Hopefully maybe I'll do it tonight. I don't know. It depends how tired I am when I come back from the game design stuff. But I'm super excited. I hope you're excited. I hope you have a fantastic day. If you want to check me out, then please check me out on all the places below. I am Stuff by Bez everywhere. If you want to carry on conversations, then stuffbybez.com/discord. My main website is stuffbybez.com, but you can buy my stuff on stuffbybez.bigcursor.com. I'm soon going to be putting up a few more things. Twitter.com/stuffbybez, Instagram.com/stuffbybez, Twitch.tv/stuffbybez. I will be streaming tomorrow and every day at 10 a.m.-ish UK time. Like, obviously, it might be 1 minute after, or what. YouTube.com/stuffbybez for the old episodes. If you want to find out what's happening over the next week, stuffbybez.com/streams. And you can see on my thing, Now Play This Design Camp is from now until the 7th. From the 8th until the 10th is the actual Now Play This. I almost feel like I should cross them over because, yeah, there we go. I've just made a slight tweak.
Tomorrow, I'm having a quick solo show. I might talk about Seize the Power. Tuesday, I'm meeting Adam, who's done a lot of charity work. Excited to talk to them. Wednesday, it will be hopefully a quick discussion with Alan Paul. Thursday, I don't know, I might be streaming from near Somerset House. And same as Friday, like Saturday, Sunday, I'm leaving that open so that I can work it into the convention. But because it doesn't start as early, and because I don't need to actually be in front of a stand and be selling stuff, I am probably going to remember to stream at 10 a.m. UK time. And then, yeah. But the next week is all about Now Play This. So feel free to share, spread the word. Lots of love, and thank you everyone for watching. It has been a delight. And Rob says, enjoy the rest of the event. It sounds great. Thank you very much. And enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your month. It is just the start of April. It's like we're going into spring. So lots of love. And as always, bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, bye, everyone. Have a wonderful day. And maybe see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.